Toyota just dropped a bombshell on the global auto industry, the IMV0, a modular pickup truck starting at just $8,000, and it's shaking the entire market to its core. This isn't some stripped-down concept or vaporware prototype. This is a real production-ready vehicle designed to completely redefine affordable utility. Toyota's CEO himself revealed it with a clear message. The world doesn't need more luxury EVs or overpriced trucks. It needs simple, durable, and affordable machines built for the real world. And that's exactly what the IMV0 is. This truck isn't about flashy design or high-end materials. It's about functionality, flexibility, and freedom. Built on a ladder-frame chassis and inspired by Toyota's legendary Hilux DNA, the IMV0 is a blank canvas for anyone. Farmers, small businesses, adventurers, or even governments. You can bolt on a flatbed, camper, food truck setup, or even a rescue rig. It's like the Lego of trucks, modular, rugged, and ready for anything. And the crazy part? Toyota's pricing it around $8,000 in developing markets. That's less than the cost of a high-end smartphone plan over a few years. This isn't just a truck. It's a statement. While other automakers race to push EVs that cost $50,000 or more, Toyota is targeting the mass market, the billions of people who just need a dependable, fixable, and affordable vehicle. The IMV0 symbolizes Toyota's quiet rebellion against an industry obsessed with tech and luxury. And it's not just talk. Toyota is already building it in Thailand, with production lines ready and prototypes already being tested in the wild. Under the hood, the IMV0 is refreshingly simple. You'll find diesel, petrol, and possibly hybrid options, all designed for easy repair and longevity. Toyota isn't trying to overcomplicate things with software subscriptions or over-the-air nonsense. This truck can be fixed with basic tools, and that's what makes it revolutionary. Imagine a pickup that can run for decades, with low maintenance costs, and the ability to adapt to almost any role: delivery truck, mobile shop, or even a mini off-road camper. Toyota is betting big that simplicity is the new innovation, and that could change everything. Because here's the kicker. While Ford, GM, and Tesla fight over who can make the most high-tech EV pickup, Toyota just created a global disruptor that almost anyone can afford. It's a direct challenge not only to automakers but to the entire economic logic of the car industry. Manufacturing costs, profit margins, and brand strategies. Everything gets turned upside down when a major brand can profitably sell a reliable truck for $8,000. And Toyota isn't keeping it exclusive. The company plans to license and localize the IMV0 platform across regions, encouraging small manufacturers and local workshops to build on it. That's a total break from the centralized, top-down car production model that's dominated for decades. Imagine small-town workshops in Africa, Asia, or South America customizing IMV0s for their local needs. It's industrial decentralization in motion, and Toyota is leading the charge. But what's even more interesting is Toyota's timing. The global auto market is in turmoil. EV adoption is slowing, costs are rising, and consumers are fed up with expensive, fragile tech-filled cars. Toyota saw the writing on the wall. The IMV0 is a back-to-basics revolution, a throwback to what made Toyota great in the first place: practical, rugged vehicles that just work. This move could also give Toyota a massive edge in emerging markets, where affordability and reliability matter more than battery range or touchscreen size. And let's be real, the IMV0 is also a public relations masterstroke. While competitors are being roasted for recalls, software glitches, and EV production delays, Toyota is positioning itself as the brand that listens to ordinary people. The CEO's message was crystal clear. Toyota isn't abandoning EVs, but it refuses to force consumers into one-size-fits-all solutions. Instead, it's offering choice: combustion, hybrid, electric, whatever works best for your region and lifestyle. That's how you win hearts and markets at the same time. But here's where things get even more disruptive: the aftermarket potential. Because the IMV0's modular design means Toyota doesn't even need to build every variant. Third-party companies can design custom modules, attachments, and conversions, turning this pickup into a platform economy of its own. Think about it. Just like how smartphones spawned ecosystems of apps and accessories, the IMV0 could spawn an entire ecosystem of mobility solutions, all built around one cheap, reliable base truck. And that raises an even bigger question. What happens when this idea spreads? When Toyota proves that a modular $8,000 truck can be profitable, adaptable, and wildly popular, every other automaker will be forced to respond. Ford can't ignore it. Neither can Nissan, Isuzu, or even Chinese brands like BYD. The IMV0 breaks all the unwritten rules. It rejects the idea that innovation must come from expensive tech. Instead, it says innovation comes from accessibility. From building something anyone can afford, anyone can repair, and anyone can make their own. Imagine a future where the IMV0 becomes the backbone of small economies, powering delivery fleets in India, serving as mobile shops across Africa, and acting as utility vehicles in rural Latin America. Toyota's not just selling a truck, it's exporting an economic tool, a platform that empowers people to start businesses, move goods, and build infrastructure, without relying on costly imports or fragile EV systems. It's not just mobility, it's independence on wheels. And the design philosophy behind it is pure Toyota minimalism. Flat body panels, simple mechanical parts, standardized mounts, everything designed to be modular, replaceable, and repairable. The truck looks utilitarian, almost militaristic, but that's exactly the point. It's built to be functional first. No unnecessary curves, no digital gimmicks, just clean, purposeful design. You could turn it into a delivery van by lunch, a camper by dinner, and a mobile workshop the next morning, all with a few bolts and panels. It's the kind of versatility that makes traditional pickup trucks look outdated. And what's wild is how Toyota managed to bring this concept to life without cutting corners on reliability. The IMV0 is built on a version of the Hilux frame, proven over decades in the world's toughest terrains. Toyota knows this formula works, and they're simply reimagining it for the 21st century. But instead of chasing horsepower or luxury, they're chasing utility and adaptability, the real needs of people who depend on their vehicles to make a living. And make no mistake, this isn't just for developing nations. Western markets are watching closely. Imagine small contractors, DIY builders, and adventure travelers in Europe or the US, realizing they can have a tough, customizable pickup for a fraction of the cost of a Ford Maverick or a Rivian. Toyota could literally open up a new category of ultra-affordable work vehicles, and no one else is prepared for that. Now think about the ripple effect. When Toyota introduces the IMV0, it doesn't just pressure rivals, it reshapes global supply chains. Suppliers will have to rethink pricing. Dealers will demand versions for their regions. Governments might even support it for local industries. The impact spreads far beyond the auto world, into trade, logistics, and even urban planning. A modular vehicle that cheap could change how cities and small towns function. And then there's the environmental angle. People assume cheap trucks mean dirty emissions, but Toyota's strategy is more nuanced. The IMV0 platform is future-proofed. It can handle hybrids, alternative fuels, even full EV conversions down the line. Toyota's playing the long game. They're not betting on a single technology. They're building a flexible architecture that can evolve with market demand. While others are stuck chasing trends, Toyota is setting up a vehicle that can survive every trend. And here's something few are talking about: the psychological impact. The IMV0 represents a cultural shift. For years, the auto industry has convinced people they need to spend more to get more. Bigger screens, smarter tech, faster acceleration. Toyota is flipping that script. They're saying, you don't need excess. You need something that works. It's almost philosophical, a return to practicality in an age of overcomplication. And if you look closely, this is Toyota reclaiming its roots. The company that built the Land Cruiser, the Hilux, the Corolla, vehicles that earned their reputation through reliability, not marketing, is once again speaking to the everyday worker, the small business owner, the builder. The IMV0 isn't about prestige, it's about purpose. But here's the plot twist. Toyota's move could also disrupt its own lineup. Because when people realize they can buy an $8,000 IMV0 that does 80% of what a $40,000 Hilux can do, the entire pricing hierarchy inside Toyota's portfolio gets questioned. Will Toyota sacrifice short-term profits to dominate long-term markets? Or is this part of a bigger strategy to create a new ecosystem of low-cost vehicles that dominate the developing world and undercut rivals before they even enter? Because make no mistake, the IMV0 isn't just a truck. It's a test platform for Toyota's global vision. A modular vehicle system that can expand, evolve, and adapt faster than any competitor. And if it succeeds, it could mark the beginning of a new automotive era, one where, one where cars aren't just products, but platforms, where buying a vehicle isn't about picking a model, but about choosing a foundation you can shape over time. Toyota could turn the IMV0 into the Android of vehicles, open, flexible, customizable, while competitors like Tesla and Ford are stuck in closed, tightly controlled ecosystems. That's the genius behind it. Toyota isn't just selling mobility, it's selling freedom. And this freedom is contagious. Small companies and independent builders are already sketching ideas: detachable cabins, solar-powered modules, pop-up shops, even electric swaps. Toyota doesn't have to make all of it. They just need to sell the base, and the market will do the rest. It's like Apple building the first iPhone and watching an entire app economy explode around it. Only this time, it's happening with vehicles. The IMV0 could spawn a global movement of micro-entrepreneurs, fabricators, and innovators building off Toyota's base. The wild part? Toyota is actively encouraging this. They showcased concept variants, from off-road campers to delivery trucks, not as finished products, but as inspiration. They want people to think creatively, to imagine what they could do with it. That's unheard of in today's corporate-driven auto world, where everything is tightly controlled and locked behind trademarks. Toyota is basically saying, here's the foundation, now go build your dream machine. It's almost anti-corporate in spirit, yet it's coming from one of the biggest corporations on Earth. That's what makes this move so fascinating. Toyota understands that the next frontier of mobility isn't about who makes the fastest EV or the biggest SUV. It's about who empowers people to create their own solutions. And right now, no one else in the industry is doing that. Meanwhile, the global reaction has been explosive. Car enthusiasts, small business owners, and even governments are buzzing about the IMV0. Social media is flooded with mock-ups and fan concepts. Some people are calling it the people's truck, while others are saying it could do for mobility what the Model T did a century ago: make transportation accessible to everyone. It's that level of potential. And Toyota's CEO, Akio Toyoda, has been crystal clear about the philosophy behind it. He said over and over that Toyota's mission isn't just to electrify, it's to serve humanity's real needs. Not everyone can charge an EV. Not everyone can afford one. Not everyone lives in a city. The IMV0 represents Toyota's belief that progress shouldn't leave people behind. That's not just strategy, that's ideology. But this truck's existence also exposes a deep crack in the global auto market. If Toyota can build and profitably sell a reliable truck for $8,000, what does that say about the inflated prices of modern vehicles? How much of today's pricing is really about necessity? And how much is just corporate greed, marketing, and unnecessary tech? The IMV0 doesn't just undercut competitors, it embarrasses them. It shows how far the industry has drifted from its original purpose, building practical, affordable machines for the masses. And now, automakers are scrambling. Reports suggest companies are quietly assessing their own low-cost platforms, trying to figure out how to respond without gutting their premium lineups. But here's the problem: most of them can't. They've built their entire business around high-margin vehicles, bloated with luxury features. Toyota, on the other hand, has the scale, the supply chain, and the global reach to make the IMV0 work, and still make money doing it. And the ripple effect won't just stop at pickups. Once the IMV0 proves itself, Toyota can easily spin off vans, small SUVs, and work vehicles from the same platform. Imagine an entire family of ultra-affordable modular machines built from one base, dominating every market segment that other brands have ignored. This could be the blueprint for Toyota's next industrial empire, not based on luxury, but on scalability and accessibility. But what's most shocking is how this move aligns with Toyota's long-term strategy. While the rest of the auto world has been obsessed with short-term EV hype, Toyota has been playing chess, quietly building flexible architectures, investing in hydrogen, and preparing for the reality that the world moves at different speeds. The IMV0 fits perfectly into that plan. It's not anti-EV, it's post-EV, a platform ready for whatever energy future wins out. And that's what terrifies competitors the most. Toyota isn't betting on one future. It's building for all of them. Combustion, hybrid, hydrogen, electric, or even synthetic fuel. The IMV0 is proof that Toyota is years ahead, not in hype, but in adaptability. Because when the market shifts again, and it will, Toyota won't need to reinvent the wheel. It'll just swap the powertrain and keep selling trucks by the millions. And while other CEOs are promising futuristic visions, Toyota's CEO is showing something far more powerful: practical reality. A truck you can touch, build, and afford today. It's a silent revolution dressed in steel and bolts. And if the IMV0 succeeds on a global scale, it could become the moment the entire auto industry realized that the future doesn't have to be digital, flashy, or expensive. It just has to work. The IMV0 might be the wake-up call automakers desperately needed. It's proof that people are tired of complicated systems, touchscreen dashboards that crash, and vehicles that cost more than their homes. Toyota has reminded the world that simplicity is the ultimate sophistication. And that message is hitting hard. Consumers everywhere are questioning why a basic truck should cost $40,000 or more when Toyota just proved it can be done for a fraction of that. The IMV0 isn't just shaking up markets, it's igniting a philosophical backlash against excess. Suddenly, less feels like more. People want vehicles that represent freedom, independence, and reliability, not subscriptions, sensors, and software locks. Even governments are starting to pay attention. Developing nations struggling with mobility infrastructure see the IMV0 as a game changer. Affordable, rugged, easy to repair. It's perfect for industries like farming, construction, logistics, and even emergency response. The possibilities are endless, and that's what makes it revolutionary. Toyota isn't selling luxury, it's selling self-reliance. And here's the twist most people aren't seeing. This truck could become Toyota's bridge to global electrification. Because once it builds loyalty and scale in emerging markets, Toyota can introduce hybrid and EV versions based on the same platform. It's a smart Trojan horse strategy. First dominate with affordability, then evolve into clean energy without alienating your base. While other automakers try to leap straight into high-cost EVs, Toyota is methodically building an entire ladder, one that anyone, anywhere, can climb. The IMV0 is also redefining what value means. This isn't about cheap quality, it's about intelligent design. Every panel, every bolt, every surface has a purpose. It's the kind of engineering that made Toyota famous decades ago, the kind that creates cult classics. The Hilux didn't become legendary because it was fancy. It became legendary because it was unstoppable. The IMV0 is that spirit, reborn for a new generation.